Hi all, short how-to for ArcGIS Pro, editing our class dataset to identify the best record for seats and identify different seats in the Botanic Gardens. Okay, so here I have the class example. In this case it's just my version of the ClassClean data. Okay, so when you're reading through the workflow, this is the ClassClean data. I'm just using the class example data set, which is my copy of it. Now in here, if we just right click on this and have a look at the properties, you'll see the definition query that I have set. So my definition query that I'm currently using is remove equals k, so these are kept features and not removed features, and name equals seat. Okay, so that's the definition that's displaying, limiting what's displayed on our map, and that means that as I mark things for removal, seat features for removal, they will disappear off the map. So how to keep track of all those ones that have disappeared off of the map. These ones in here are ones that I've removed previously. You can see as an outline. What you can do is just add another copy, another version of your layer. So just go into Catalogue and drag in your ClassClean layer again, and on your second version, all you need to do is set a different query. So in this case I've just set the query name equals seat. Okay, now we're not, for this one, for name equals seat, we're just leaving this layer as one symbol for all features, and we're not actually working on this layer. So we'll be doing our selection and everything else on the ClassClean layer, but this layer is just there to keep a track of all of the seat features for us, so you can see what's been deleted in the past. Okay, so just using the same data set but with two different definition queries. So how do we go about deciding, or making the decisions about how many seats there are and where those seats are in the Botanic Gardens? Now, part of that is quite simple. Like in this case here, people have collected four records for a seat. It's in one single location altogether. There's nothing else nearby. It's a reasonably simple process of selecting the records that are there, picking the one that's the most accurate record from the list, and deleting the rest, or marking the rest, sorry, for removal. So what we'll do is we'll do that on a little cluster up here to give you a look at the data. Here is some seats. Okay, now we're looking at these at the moment in here by author. So we're using the authored color code, and we can see that in here we might have some pairs of seats that are the same colors as each other. So we might have two seats that are close together here in this cluster. So what we'll do is we'll have a look. I've opened up the class example attribute table at the bottom here, and I've set it to show only our selected records. So now I can select those records just using the select tool up here. Okay, and we can see now, if I highlight the author and sort by the author, just double click at the top on the header cell, okay, we can look down here and you can see, yes, there is two records for one person here, there's two records again there, okay, and there's two records down here. So it is looking like there's two seats here, because you wouldn't expect the same person to collect the same seat twice. Okay, so we can use that as one indicator. The next indicator that we've got, we can sort by metal and wood. So our metadata string is what the seat is made of. Okay, and so we can use that as an option. Now, if we click on our left hand cell here, we can highlight features. Okay, and we can do that to sort of select within a selection. And if we click to select all of the metal seats as opposed to the wood seats, we can now see that we've got two distinct clusters. So in this one group of features, we've actually got two seats. So now we want to choose one of these groups. We want to choose the best location record for each of these seats. So we're going to pick one out of each list for each seat. To do that, what we're going to do is zoom in here and have a look at this group, and if you hold down your control button and control key and drag over, it will unselect that one but leave everything else selected. So I've made the decision that this seat here is probably the best or most accurate record of that group. Okay, it's about the center of the cluster. Now if we go down here and have a look at our other material, which is our wood seats, okay, we can highlight them and have a look at the cluster. Once again, we're looking for the record that sort of best represents the mean center. Okay, so once again I'll hold the control, click and drag to remove that seat from the selection. Now what we've got left in here are all the ones we don't actually want. Okay, they're additional records for that seat. Okay, we've used them to confirm that there is a seat there. Now we're just selecting one that's the best record to keep. Okay, so now if you right click on the remove column, you can calculate the field and down here, so it should eventually automatically populate everything. Note it says up here this tool modifies your input data, so we're editing our data at the moment. Okay, you mess it up, it's messed up. Okay, so it's got my class example, which will be your ClassClean. It's got the remove field and expression as Python 3. That's fine, it doesn't matter, we're doing a very simple edit. So in here we just have quotation marks, R for remove, quotation marks, and we click apply. And okay, and you'll notice that they've disappeared from here. Now that's to be expected because our definition query says remove equals k. However, where we've left the remove off, remove equals k definition query off, those are still present, so we can see the original records as a separate layer underneath. Okay, so we've selected our two seats from this area. Okay, and we can always just make sure you've checked here when you use the field calculator, it saves the edits automatically at the end, but always check that before you move on that everything is saved. If this save button is active, save your data. Okay, now that's basically the process you're going to go through to edit your seats layer. Another option that you have is to use the near distance, which we calculated earlier. Okay, so if we have a look at these seats here, okay, you will be able to check, are they duplicates? No, they're all unique user author IDs. Are we getting maybe mixed and wood? So we might have two seats being recorded here, but if we scroll across and have a look at our near distance, we can sort by a near distance and see that there's actually a whole bunch of these that are actually outside of the Botanic Gardens, which clearly is not what we're looking for. So we can highlight those, and in the top up here you've got lots of options, so we can unselect those ones. We don't want to do that. We can reselect these ones, so what we're going to do is we'll reselect for just those. And once again, we can just calculate that field as R to remove and apply. And okay, and now we've removed those ones because they're clearly not in the Botanic Gardens, they're out on Alice Street. And that is the process for cleaning and creating a seat layer